Good morning, ladies. So I just wanted to share my breakfast with you real quick. This is something that I really enjoy. I've got onions, I've got red bell pepper, and I have a small jalapeno in my pan that I've been searing with a little bit of olive oil spray. I've had these on for about, maybe 3 to 5 minutes now. What I'm going to add to this is a 1/4 cup of canned stewed tomatoes. This is canned stewed tomatoes. And then I'm also going to add a teaspoon of garlic. And I'm going to let this cook down for a couple minutes until the vegetables become nice and tender. And I'm going to smash the tomato up. It's going to give it some moisture. Sorry, I'm multitasking. You want to cook it so that everything becomes nice and fragrant. Already smelling so good. So to this, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. This is going to let the veggies continue to wilt down and release some moisture. And then for my spice, I'm going to add just a little bit of chili powder. And I'm also going to add a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. So I'll need 2 hands for this. Okay, so I've got all that added in. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to let that water cook down completely, as much as possible. But this is going to make a really nice sauce. Now, what would make this really, really delicious is if you added like 1/2 tablespoon of butter. It would be so good. But I'm going to add 2 whole eggs to this on top. So that's going to be plenty of fat for this dish. And then to increase the protein for breakfast, because I try to hit at least 30 to 35 grams of protein, for my breakfast, I'm going to add some egg whites. So this is going to be a huge low-calorie meal. It's going to have so much flavor. I'm going to be super satisfied and satiated because it's going to be a delicious meal. So you see how the water is evaporating and it's making the flavors mesh with these vegetables. I'm going to create a spot here and a spot here for my eggs, and I'm going to add my whole eggs now. Okay, so here it is. I've turned the heat down just a little bit, and I'm going to let those eggs cook for a little bit before I add the egg whites. Okay, so I went ahead and I added 3/4 cup of egg whites to the pan, and I turned the heat back up, and I added a little bit of salt on top, so you can see how everything is starting to bubble up and cook. It's looking amazing. This breakfast is going to be so good. So I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, you can see that the egg whites are starting to cook around the edge now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with a tight fitting lid here, and I'm going to allow it to finish cooking most of the way, and then I'm going to flip it over for a second. I really want to keep the yolks like medium to over easy so that all the juices can spill out in with the vegetables as I'm eating it. That's one of my favorite ways to have it. Okay, so ladies, this breakfast is going to have about 34 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbs, and about 10 grams of fat. I'm going to flip this and then I'll be back. Okay, so I flipped it. I've got the eggs whole in the middle still, and then I just kind of scrambled up the egg whites around the sides, and I turned the heat off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and work my way into getting these eggs out of the center. As you can see, the yolk in the center is still pretty over easy, which is what we want. That one's the same, you just can't see it. And then I will add all this food on top. Give me just a second. this breakfast, all this food, I want you to see this, is a lot of food. It fills my container up completely for 299 calories. I just want you to see how much food this is. This is a crazy amount of protein and veggies. But what I like about this is it's extremely filling. If you wanted to add like a little bit of sour cheese, like a goat cheese or a Mexican style crumbled cheese to the top of this, it would really kick it up a notch, especially if you wanted to add in a high fiber tortilla and make it more of a brunch. That would also go wonderfully with this breakfast. But what I do is I cook it like this and I eat it. And if I get full, I just put the lid on it. I put it in the fridge and I heat it up and eat it later for a snack. But this is a really nutrient dense breakfast where you get a lot of protein and vitamins and minerals and things. It's so much better for you than reaching for a protein bar or a protein shake or something from the convenience store. So your body is going to process and use these nutrients so much differently than the processed foods that we eat. So if you have time to make a breakfast like this, it only takes about 10-15 minutes max, and that's prep time, cook time, storage time included. So anyway, I hope you guys like this recipe. If you do like this, comment below so I can continue to making content that you guys will use, that you like, that you enjoy. So I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.